Hi, guys. I'm Nina,
I'm Jamie.
and we are Bloody Essentials, or at least half of them.
Yeah, it's a ladies' night.
It's a ladies' night, and we decided to take over a little bit and choose one of our personal favorites. But before we, open up that crypt, we just want to thank all of our listeners for supporting the show. It means so much to us, really. So thank you for listening every single week and letting us know what you think. It really means a lot to us to know that everyone's actually like listening. So
Yeah, thank you guys.
yeah. Shout out to our Patreon members as well, Rick, Swift, and David. Guys, thank you so much.
You guys are awesome. Awesome people, great taste in movies, and it means so much to have your support.
Absolutely. And in terms of support, I think I need to do a quick little shout out here. The Whole Damn Enchilada podcast has merch now.
I should have worn mine. Oh, there it is, folks. Beautiful. You should definitely get one.
Yes, they have Whole Damn Enchilada podcast shirts in black and red. So you get your choice. And this
Yeah.
awesome new logo, which is great. They also have hoodies, coffee mugs. So check them out. I think they also have stickers, but yeah, check them out, see what they got, support our friends. They're really great guys, great horror podcast.
If you guys have not checked out the podcast, definitely check it out and definitely get some merch.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, Ethan unfortunately can't be here with us tonight. He decided to take some time off to be with his family, which totally understandable.
Totally.
But like Jamie said, we're taking over and it's 70s night here.
Yeah. So you know it's going to be a good time. We love us some
Absolutely.
70s nights. We're going to be talking about some 70s cinematography, like
Yeah,
some
we
cool
are.
actors.
Yes. So this week on Bloody Essentials, we're unlocking the front door to one of the most overlooked and deeply unsettling films of 1970s horror. We are reviewing none other than Burnt Offerings, a movie that proves summer vacation can absolutely ruin your life.
Oh, I love that. And it's so true.
Yeah, Burnt Offerings is the kind of horror that doesn't scream, it just settles in.
For
Yeah.
sure.
If you like your horror slow, weird, and full of questionable parenting, good news, so do we.
It's kind of a favorite of ours around here.
Yeah, it's been the subject of many a conversation around here. So
Sure has.
unpack your bags, ignore the attic, and pray the house doesn't redecorate you.
I love
Yeah,
it. I love it so much. Makes me so excited to talk about this.
I know. I'm excited. All right, so Burnt Offerings. Jamie, when was the first time you saw this movie?
Yeah, so this one was probably like, this is a movie that I watched by myself, really, for the first time. So I don't have like a super cool memory with it per se. But it was just one of those when I started exploring some more like 70s horror, especially stuff that was like a little bit more atmospheric and kind of dreamy. Like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, like kind of in that
Yeah.
vibe. This is one that I read about where I'm like, okay, this has got cool people and it seems like a cool idea. So yeah, it was just kind of my exploration of 70s movies. So it was quite a while ago, but probably not as early as some of my other ones.
Okay. Well, I actually learned about this movie from you, Jamie,
Hmm.
not long after we first met, about 2 or 3 years ago now. I think it was 3 now. Jeez, how time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
I had told you that one of my favorite subgenres of horror was like the haunted house theme, and I also mentioned that I loved 70s horror, and you recommended this one. And as soon as you were like Burgess Meredith and Betty Davis, I was like, sold. Yeah,
I mean, right? Like, what more do you need? Come on.
icons, true icons in cinema. So I watched this by myself as well, and I was just blown away. I've never seen anything like it. It's very reminiscent of Haunting of Hill House and
Yeah.
Rose Red, um, but it's very much unique, and it did come before Rose Red. So I feel like Stephen King kind of ripped them off a little bit, but we'll get to that.
I was gonna say, I feel like Stephen King probably watched this movie.
I'll just go ahead and spill the tea. This is one of his all-time favorite movies, actually.
Oh, that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
Yeah, I can definitely see it because I feel like there are a lot of elements in his stories that resemble this. So, yeah.
Big time. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So, let's get into the synopsis really quick.
Yeah.
Right. So, this film is from 1976, and it is about a seemingly idyllic summer retreat that turns into a psychological nightmare for Ben, Marion, and their son, David. They end up renting a very large but decaying Victorian mansion in the countryside. They're lured by its very low price and the strange condition that they care for the owner's elderly mother, who remains secluded in the attic. And as the summer progresses, the house seems to exert a sinister influence. Marion, in particular, becomes increasingly obsessed with the home, distancing herself from her family, spending very long hours polishing antiques and restoring furniture with just very creepy intensity.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Um, Ben, meanwhile, begins to experience very violent hallucinations, most notably the recurring vision of the smiling hearse driver, um, which is an iconic character within itself, right?
Oh my gosh. We'll get into it more, but like what a
Yeah,
cool creepy character. Like, man, I would watch his like spin-off or whatever if we explored
oh,
that character more.
for sure. Yeah, this disturbing figure of the hearse driver, he begins to haunt Ben, as symbolizing the house's grip on his mind and sanity. Um, and basically how the house is feeding off its inhabitants' trauma and aggression to kind of regenerate itself a little bit.
Yeah.
So, as the family deteriorates, the house seems to flourish. Paint peels away to reveal restored walls, dying plants bloom again, and the mansion regains its former grandeur as the summer progresses. Um, and, in a climactic and tragic finale, the true nature of the house and the fate of the family within are revealed. So, as I mentioned before, we've got Burgess Meredith, we've got Betty Davis, we've got, oh my God, so many people, Jamie, so many people. We've got
I know
Mama
Karen Black.
Firefly, Karen Black,
Yeah.
yeah, such great people. And
Amazing
it's just,
cast.
yeah, true psychological terror where the line between caretaker and captive blurs.
Oh, it so does.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about are there any drawbacks to this movie that you can think of?
Okay, so I wouldn't call them drawbacks, but I do have some. I do have some thoughts. Okay, so there are some areas where like because we'll get into like what we love about it. I love like the whole concept of the house and like how it kind of like feeds off of trauma. Their traumas. It's not so much like a haunted house as it is like a psychic parasite.
Yeah.
Almost, which is really cool, but there's some things that happen where I'm like, I would have loved like a little bit more explanation of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the biggest one for me, and I've seen this movie multiple times, is it has to do with Ben, with the dad, who I think is an amazing, amazing character.
Yes,
Right?
Oliver Reed, incredible
Oh,
actor.
so good. Like he serves so much good face. Like his emotional roller coaster through this is the best one of all.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is really interesting is there's a lot of hints to something that happened in Ben's past and maybe even amongst the family. It almost
Yeah.
feels like sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So we do have, the funeral nightmares that he has about his mother, but it's like, what is that rooted in? Like has to be more than just like a loved one passing away. So it's like, what kind of like causes the nightmare for him. And then like the other thing is like, I don't think that the house necessarily like creates like emotion and stuff that isn't there. It like has to
Yeah.
pull from like what is inside that person. So
Yeah.
I'm like, his moments of like aggression and violence, particularly to his son in the pool scene, and to his wife as well.
Yeah.
It has to come from somewhere. Like the house, like didn't just put that in him out of nowhere. Like it massaged what was already there in him.
Yeah.
Um, there's even like a moment after he had attacked the son where him and Marion are talking and he's saying, I wanted to hurt him. But she basically says, like, let's forget the past, let's forget the past. But we never
Yeah.
like completely learn like what that is. And so for
Right.
me, I'm like, I've always like, for me, that's one, like, I'm cool with not getting an explanation on everything in movies. But for me, I would have loved to learn a little bit more about what it was that happened that this family needs to forget. Was it abuse? Like, was it something at the
Hmm.
hands of the father? He even talks about like the long time between visits, right, with Marion.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
and
a
so
good
it's
point.
like, yeah, and so it's like, is he saying that, were they separated for a while? Like, did they have to be apart for some time? Was he
Hmm.
possibly in a facility of some kind? Was he in the hospital for some reason? There was some reason where they had periods of separation between them with
Yeah.
a long time between visits. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, oh, I really wish that they would have given us just a little bit more insight into like what that was,
That's a really good point.
personally.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I've honestly not really thought too much about that, but I do know, um, when I was watching this with somebody who hadn't seen it before, I introduced it to them like last year. They felt very discombobulated after that pool scene because it's like we go from out of nowhere seemingly, right? Like Ben just attacks his son and is pretty much like drowning him and putting him in
Brutal.
chokeholds right in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
which is very brutal. Like it's just
Scary.
really scary to watch.
Great
And
scene.
great scene, but I love how we're like scary, brutal, loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it. Yeah. But like there's no conversation right after. It almost like feels like a different movie following that moment because it's like there's no explanation. It just jumps forward to like
Mm-hmm.
we don't even know when, like how many days have passed at this point or whatever. And then we have that conversation between Ben and Marion, and it's like that just it feels like there's a scene missing there, like where Ben should be like, "Oh my god, like I'm so sorry, like are you okay?" And then like, maybe the son like, "Get away from me," like something, but like it's not there. And I honestly think, hear me out on this because I don't know for
Okay.
sure. I honestly think it's because of when this movie was filmed because it was 1976. We
Mm-hmm.
did not talk about child abuse. We didn't talk about any kind of abuse really, and we certainly didn't talk about mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I think that that's why we don't really get an explanation as to what's the deal with Ben, you know? And
Yeah.
something else, like there is a book that this movie is based on, but
Oh,
yeah, I haven't read it yet, so I need to read it.
same.
But apparently the stuff, the flashbacks that Ben has, that was all added. That's not in the book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
actually added by director Dan Curtis, based on an actual childhood experience he had. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so as a young child, being at his mother's funeral and seeing a chauffeur laughing outside of the funeral parlor, it disturbed him so deeply. So he wrote that memory into the film and ultimately leading to one of the most creepy characters of all time, right? Like, so
Wow. I did not know that. That is interesting. That's cool.
yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, it's a shame that more detail wasn't added there because I feel like it adds a layer of depth to Ben's character, but like you don't really know like what they're trying to say with that, you know?
Yeah, and like it's something that his whole family is aware of. Like there's a moment when they're talking about it too, when Mary and him are talking about it, like the look on their faces literally says something bad happened in the
Yeah.
past with us, and I don't know what it is exactly. There was something that happened. that caused a lot of trauma in the family. I think even the son kind of like feels it too, because his son is very like forgiving of his
Yeah.
dad. Like,
Very.
he hugs him basically, like, when he's kind of saying like, are you okay, later, in like the kitchen or something. And he just
Mhm.
hugs him. He runs and hugs him. And, so it's also like, I think his son is also aware that something's not maybe
Yeah.
quite all right with dad, or dad has had something in the past where
Yeah.
like he almost is like recognizes that it's not like something he intended necessarily, or it might not be like what he wanted to do. So
Yeah.
there's something there, and I think it would have just added a little bit of depth, like you said, to the character,
Mhm.
and just to the situation at hand too, because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I mean, like the house obviously feeds on that kind of thing and regenerates itself from that kind of thing. So to know what that was, I feel like would make it even more like kind of
Yeah.
ominous and powerful. And
For sure. No, I 100% agree. I think that would be really interesting. If they ever remade this, I'd be scared to see it, but I think it would be very interesting if they could delve into that a little bit more and make it more like, kind of like The Shining. Like, I really want to delve into that psyche of that family, you know?
same.
Yeah,
Totally do, because there's definitely something to like unwrap there. There definitely
for sure.
is. The whole family knows it. And
Yeah,
honestly, I think in some way, although again, we don't know exactly how everything works with the house, right? But it's
right.
almost like I feel like, maybe certain people are like, families are drawn to it, or maybe like the house draws certain people to it, was kind of like,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least at least what I hope or like want, where I'm like, maybe that family, it wasn't just that they saw like an ad for like a really good price over the summer. There's
Right.
something more at play because of a tragedy that happened in their lives that like brought
That
them to
would be
this
really
house.
interesting. I would love that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that there's definitely something that, especially Karen Black's character, I think Marion is very drawn to this house immediately. Like right off the bat, she hasn't even walked inside yet, and she's sold. She's like, I don't care, done, sold. Don't even need to hear anything else. Done, right?
She doesn't question it at all when there's the
Not
condition.
once, not
Hmm.
once. She's like, oh, I don't think there's anything you could say. Like,
Yeah.
you got dead bodies in the back. You want us to fine, fine.
No big. Nobody else go back there. It's my thing to take care of. I
Yeah,
got this.
I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. Like she does not care. So I'm curious to know like what kind of trauma she went through, because there's definitely something there. She definitely is obsessed with like what this house represents in terms of like wealth and like
Hmm.
societal, norms and things like that. So I think that's really interesting to explore as well.
And again, everybody in this house, like they're, the house pulls out these core like emotions and feelings and traumas from them. So every single one of them has some trauma that this house is just like, like yummy.
Yeah, exactly.
Feed me your
So
misery.
right, for sure. There is one thing I want to talk about, but first we need to talk about the house because that is a character within itself, right?
Oh, I mean, it's a super important character. And like I said, it's really cool, and I think it's super different because it's not even so much a haunted house as it is like a living entity. And like I said, it's like a psychic
Absolutely.
parasite.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. So, the house used in the film. This was the first movie to be
Mm.
filmed at this particular house. It is, I may be pronouncing this completely wrong. Forgive me. It's called the Dunsmire House. It is in Oakland, California.
Okay.
And it might look familiar to you if you are a fan of horror because it is in Phantasm, the
I
OG.
had a feeling. Yes,
Yep.
okay.
It's also in So I Married an Axe Murderer of 1993
Oh my
and
god.
many other films that are not considered horror, which there were so many I couldn't even list them all. So those are the two big ones. Phantasm 1979, I Married an Axe Murderer 93. So,
Do you
yep.
know if it's like still like, can people like go to it? Can you walk up and take pictures or
Oh,
look at it?
Yes, it is. It is owned by the city of Oakland. It has
Okay.
been owned since 1962, and it is open to the public as part of a park. So I don't know how much of it you can actually go inside and explore, but almost all of the movie was filmed at this house. There was not a single set. According to the director, Dan Curtis, he says the whole film was shot on set or like on this at this house. So, yep.
Wow. Oh, that is cool. Field trip. Like,
Right? Yeah. But let's get into some of the history of the house because it's pretty interesting.
ooh.
I think it really adds to the mystery of this house in this film. So, the house where this movie was filmed, it was built in 1899,
Okay.
and it cost over $350,000 to build at the time,
I
adjust
feel
for
like that,
inflation.
I was gonna say, I feel like that was a lot of money. Like,
In 1899, it sure was.
yeah.
But what makes this house extra special and kind of romantic, Alexander Dunsmeyer built the mansion as a wedding present for his wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So got some rose red vibes going on right now, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. But unfortunately, neither one of them got much enjoyment out of the house. Dunsmeyer himself died on his honeymoon, and his wife died of cancer in the house only 18 months later.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
this house has some tragedy in it, and just that's a great, that makes it a really great setting for this movie.
Yeah. And I didn't really I wasn't able to dig too much more into it, but like I said, the house has been owned by the city of Oakland since 62. There was a
Wow.
lot of property damage, I think, because it was just sitting in like disrepair over the years, but
Mhm.
it's been restored. And actually, like the people involved in the making of this film, they actually helped restore quite a bit of it, including the pool. So,
Wow. Oh, that's so
yeah.
cool. What a cool way to
Yeah.
kind of like give back.
Yeah, a lot of the house and everything was restored specifically to help out. So,
Love
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some history about the house. And I just thought that was really cool to share. It is a real location and you can visit. So,
I love that, and, like, the house is such an important, like, element of this movie. It's part of, like, what makes it work, you know? And again, like, it's super unique because, like, the house actually, like, rebuilding itself and regenerating itself, like, to me, that's such a cool concept, and the way that they do it too is really awesome. It's like, throughout the movie, you just have this, like, oppressive, decaying energy, like, inside the house, and it just like regenerates itself when they suffer, which is like, it's a great creepy like concept.
even at the beginning, when you first meet the Allardyces, the owners of the house, right? And you get
Yes.
incredible Burgess Meredith being Burgess Meredith. Like,
Oh.
I love the moment where he gets excited that there's a little boy there. And
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, oh, little boys fall down, little boys have accidents, things like that. And sure enough, the little boy, he scrapes his knees or whatever. And, he's like, oh, you better go take care of his cuts. And he's just relishing in this. Like,
Yeah.
he's so excited for the house to just feed on this family.
Yeah, and let me just say, I love them so much, like the brother and sister. Like, another set of characters. Like, I would watch a whole movie about
Oh my
them,
God.
like
Yes.
delving more into them because, like, I think they're interesting too. Because it's like, are they immortal? Like the
Yes.
houses? Because obviously with all those pictures on the table, we see that this has been going on for like quite some time, and all the pictures
Yeah.
on the wall too, we know this has been going on for quite some time. So it's like,
Yes.
are they immortal? Like, are they trapped in this? Like, could they stop? Like, would they stop? Like, so just to learn more
Yeah.
about them, how it works, like what their motivations are, and just like have more of their back and forth because they're eccentric in the best way.
Oh, they're
Like
So fun.
when they get excited about the house in the summertime, where they're talking about like, oh, you should see it in the summer, like it's pretty much immortal, and like they're getting, and the actually Ben like laughs about it, and they're like, what, like, you gotta love this house, we're serious here, and he's like,
Yeah.
sorry.
There's an interesting line, I believe Burgess Meredith says it, and it's something along the lines of like, this house will still be here long after you're gone. And it's
Hmm.
like, oh, that's just so like gave me chills every time. But I think that you bring up an interesting point. Like, there is a point in the movie where Ben and his son are exploring the grounds, right? And they find a
Hmm.
cemetery.
Yes, they
And
do.
yes, and I believe Ben mentions that there's not a single gravestone that has a date past like the 1800s or something. So like 1880,
Hmm.
1890. So it's like, so is this when things started going on with the house? Because there's only so many photographs of the house on the wall, right?
Yep.
And they say that at least one of them looks to be 100 years old or more. So it's like,
Yep.
okay, when did this start? Was this the 1890s, 1870s even? Like that would be interesting. How did it
Yeah.
start? If it just started after, out of nowhere, like that's suspicious. And how long have
Yeah.
these two been alive? Like, are they just the last ones left, or what's going on there?
Yeah, and again, like, is this something that they're kind of like they're tied to, like they have to do this? Like, could they potentially just let it
I
go
think
and
they
then
could
like
stop. I think
I
they
do
could stop.
too.
Yeah. I definitely get the vibe that they could stop, but they relish what they're doing. They are enjoying it just as much as the house is. So,
Yeah. I would love to know like the how of like how it started. It's like
yeah.
did it was like yeah, was it something to do with the mom? Like did
It
they
seems like it could have been. Yeah, because it's like, why is this old woman in the attic getting replaced family after family, possibly even summer after summer? And it's
Yep.
like, huh, like why that particular room? Because Marion is very drawn to that room in particular out of all of the rooms in the house.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and like there's that moment where, Ben is chasing after her and he's trying to like seduce her or whatever. And she stops as soon as she sees that light from that room. And it's like she knows there's no one up there. But
Mhm.
like, why? What is the power between her and that room? And like, why is she like, no, we can't? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
that totally goes past the trauma, that whatever it was that happened between them. Because before they moved in, she was like letting him touch her and stuff. Like
Oh
he was
yeah.
like caressing her and things like that, and she was fine with it. But like all of a sudden she's like, no, 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 none of that stuff. Like, so I'm very curious to know like what happened in that room in particular. Like, why did they replace the Mrs. Allardyce each time? Like, what happened? So
Yeah, it's like the supernatural kind of mechanics of this movie, like again, they're left kind of vague. There's a lot of room for like kind of, yeah, we don't know how it started or how it works exactly. Like we just know families come in, replace this mother kind of figure, which I don't even know, is like, is this an energy, is this
right.
a spirit by this point, is it just an idea, you know what I mean, that's like planted to her, and then like the house is
Yeah.
supernatural, whatever, kind of takes it from there and like helps her imagination go wild with it, I guess, kind of. So yeah, there's the mechanics of it all are not fully explained, and it leaves a lot of room for like interesting questions, that I'd really love to explore. Like
Yeah.
it makes me like have so many ideas of what it could be. Like obviously it's been
Yeah.
going on in their family for a long time, so it's like, what is
Yeah.
their family? Are they supernatural? Are they like some
Right.
kind of like cult, like supernatural
Yeah.
cult? Like
Th-
are they inherently witches, like what
right.
is it?
There's a lot of interpretations you could go with it, and I think that honestly that's why people still talk about this movie, that's why people still watch this movie, and it makes it more fun that it's open. From what I was reading, because I haven't read the book, so I don't know the major
Same.
differences. But I've heard that it's very much open ended and it leaves it open for interpretation. So I don't think
Gotcha.
even in the book we have answers, but that can be fun, you know?
I think so too. Like I'm not mad
Yeah.
at that in this movie. I'm not mad at the kind of like mechanics of how it all works, like being
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Again, I would have liked more info on the family's trauma because I
Yeah.
think it would have made sense to include it. But with the I like that it kind of leaves rooms for questioning and for you to kind of like come up with your own ideas about what it
Yeah.
means and how it works.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think that what I'm wondering is it the mom that replaces the Mrs. Allardyce figure every time? Like, is it always a woman that's drawn up to the attic, or is it occasionally a dude? Because it's like I don't remember seeing that many female pictures in the collection, right? So I'm wondering if it's always a woman because at the end of the movie, Marion's picture isn't there, so whoever ends up in the attic, I assume their portrait doesn't get put there. So it's very interesting how that works. And who takes the pictures? Who takes the pictures, Jamie?
Oh my god, that's such a good question. I know, because it's like, were they like, hey, when you come in, by the way, when you move into the house, we need you to bring in your best, most recent headshot. Or yeah, who takes the pictures?
It's so funny because in a lot of the pictures, I don't know if you've noticed this, but across many viewings I have, and it's like most of the pictures, everybody's like, that look you get, it's like a deer in headlights where like you didn't know the flash was on kind of thing. That's how
Yeah.
most people in their portraits look, like very like surprised, scared
Uh-huh.
even. And it's like
It's not
that's really
happy.
fitting. Yeah, it's not happy. No one's smiling, no one's posing.
Nope.
And so it's like, like what happened there,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, maybe, we did see a groundskeeper for like two seconds in the beginning. Maybe
Oh,
he's the in-house photographer.
hi, everybody. Just wanted to thank all of you guys for listening and supporting the podcast. If you haven't already, please follow us, like us, leave us a review. Little things like this can really help the podcast out so much. Also, if you want to hear your name mentioned in our episodes at the beginning and receive fun little goodies from the entire Bloody Essentials team, you can join our Patreon. It's 100% like no commitment. All the proceeds go back into the podcast. It helps us upgrade our recording equipment, our editing software, all those good things. And it also helps pay for our travel expenses with our upcoming appearances. So that can add up really fast, but we're looking to hopefully expand to other conventions and going to other states to see spooky attractions. So funds like that will help significantly. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but before we can actually like start receiving funds through YouTube and things like that, as creators, as horror creators, we need at least 500 followers on YouTube. So if you aren't already following us, but you listen to us and you really like our content, please like us, subscribe. It really helps out so much and it allows us to keep doing what we're doing. So we love bringing horror to you each week, whether it's content creators, our thoughts on a film. So we really want to keep doing this for as long as possible. And money is unfortunately a big way to stay on top of that. So, like I said, all of your support really means a lot, and you get fun little goodies from all of us. We got Bloody Essentials merch, we got horror goodies that we've been saving for you guys, whether it's stickers, horror collectibles, like I'm talking like shirts from your favorite horror companies, Fright Rags, all those good places. And then, of course, we've got some NECA figures and all those kinds of things. So if you want to receive fun horror goodies from your Bloody Essentials crew, join our Patreon. It's going to be a really good time. We also have a Discord channel and unedited episodes before they air. So that's always exciting. And we're hoping to be doing movie parties really soon. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll get back to the show now.
Well.
Let's talk about that groundskeeper. I feel like he does not fit with the
He
rest of
just
everything.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Yeah, but it's fun. It's just like, okay, well, got a kooky groundskeeper, and I don't think we ever see him again.
You do not. Yeah, you see him like the one time and he's got like a southern accent and he's like,
Yep.
yeah, but it's like he's very uncharacteristic of anybody else. He's only servant you see. So it's like you don't have anybody to compare him to in that regard.
Yeah.
And
Where did they get
he's
this guy?
I have a theory that he's one of the family members.
Okay. Because they
Yeah,
do seem
because
to like to keep it all family kind of in this house, all family
yeah,
pictures and
yeah. The only thing that makes me think it's just like a regular dude is like at the end of like the big scene where they're all together and Burgess Meredith is like, "What are you doing with that plant?" And he's like, "Oh, your sister told me to throw it out." And he's like, "It's not dead and like it's blooming again and everything." And
um,
so it's like, okay, so maybe he doesn't really know how the mechanics of the house work. So maybe he's not in on any of this and
yeah.
yeah. So who knows?
Another mystery. Yeah, another mystery with this guy.
You
But
know what?
I would watch the spin-off. I would watch the movie about the siblings, and he would have a little part in it.
Oh yeah,
Maybe they would explain where they got him. Maybe he's like indentured to them for some reason. You
right.
know
The
what I
whole
mean?
family, his ancestors were like indentured to the family or something.
Yeah. Again, like maybe they did something for him supernatural or his ancestor, and so he has to
This is
work
gonna
for these
be
people.
this is gonna be less fun of a theory, but my theory is that the original actor that they got for the groundskeeper couldn't make it to work that day, and this is the guy they found, just on the side of the road somewhere.
They're like, let's hear you say something, and they're like,
Yeah,
okay, this guy, this is the one.
this
You'll
this
do.
guy works. Yeah, he'll do. But
So
yeah,
funny.
that's one of the more eccentric characters. I think that just it's interesting. So
Definitely, definitely. Again, because we really don't see him again. We just kind of see him in the beginning, and yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about cinematography because I know you're dying to talk about it.
It's a gorgeous movie. Like the cool thing is like it's like set in the summer, which I love. They still make it very like dreamy and
Yeah,
spooky even in like the daylight,
yeah.
which is pretty amazing. So that's my favorite thing is just like the dream-like quality of so much of the movie. Like there's even a moment I like when they first come to the house and Marianne is in that garden room and she's kind of exploring and the camera like kind of slowly zooms in on her and she's like backlit by the windows with all this light behind her and it just gives this very like dreamy kind of look. Obviously all of the dad's dreams are fantastic the way that it looks.
Hmm.
Um and then like another one of my favorite moments is when she's sitting in the chair upstairs and she's in like this red light.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That red light in the attic is so gorgeous, so
it
gorgeous.
is so pretty. And
Yeah.
then there's also like they do cool camera work in this where there's like when Aunt Elizabeth is going
Mhm.
to go take a nap, right? The bed is that starts with the bed being right up in the foreground. So it makes it
Mhm.
look really big and far away from her and ominous in
Yeah,
some way.
yeah,
So like she's over here in the background and it's up here and it looks huge because of that. And she looks tiny as she approaches it.
yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant right there. Just like such a subtle thing that like is really brilliant.
Yeah.
Another of my favorite scenes cinematography wise is the dad is on the phone. I think he's calling for the doctor, trying to call for the doctor.
Mhm.
Split screen kind of thing here where, he's on the left hand side of the screen. It's dark. He's on the phone, but it's dark. Then on the other side of the screen, there's roses on the table, there's the staircase going up, and it's very bright.
Yeah.
So just gorgeous. It's so cool looking.
Yeah. And I love that you see Marion in the background too, like kind of like keeping an eye on him. She's ultimately looking out for the house's best interests. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's really cool to see that dynamic shift as the film progresses. Yeah.
Totally. And then like I just thought the way that they did some of these scenes cuz like with the pool, that whole sequence was just really cool how they put that together. Like we said earlier, it was like really, really scary. The pool scene
Yeah.
where he's like attacking his son, and then of course the one at the end, that's really crazy and cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it's not really an older movie, but for 1970s, being able to film underwater isn't very impressive. And just with all the splashing and all the mechanics of this fight between the dad and the son, not once does the water get on the camera. Not
Yeah,
once. And it's like they can barely manage that now. Like that's one of my
I
biggest pet
know.
peeves is when there's water on a camera. I'm like, you know,
I
like
know.
that shouldn't be there. Like,
Yeah, it's like you're like breaking reality, the reality of this right now.
yeah. It bugs me every time. It's like fourth wall has been broken and you weren't even trying. Like,
Yeah,
so it just takes me out of the movie immediately. But they did so well in the mechanics of that. Like when every single time I watch that, I'm just blown away because if you know me, you know my fear of water. And
yeah,
I think the scariest thing for any child is to have their parents like turn on them because this is somebody that's supposed to be taking care of him. And not only that, but Anne Elizabeth is right there and she's
terrified.
completely helpless. She can't do anything. So, yeah, he's truly at the mercy of his father.
Ugh, and it's just like unrelenting too. Like it doesn't matter that Anne Elizabeth is telling him to stop. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
that his son is telling him to stop.
Yeah.
It's made like even more heartbreaking by the time that they took to establish like a good bond between the dad and the son before that. Because
Yeah.
they're playing together, like you see them together like buddy buddy pretty much like even when they're just looking at the house, they're both like outside for a little bit, you know.
Mhm.
So it makes it even more like painful just knowing that
Yeah.
like this little boy like looks up to his dad, adores him, sees him as his like best friend.
For sure. Yeah, he's definitely closer with his dad. Not to say that Marion is a bad mother before this, because she's totally not.
No.
But
Mm.
yeah, there's definitely like he's definitely really close with his dad, looks up to his dad. And can we just talk about how in the span of probably 15, 20 minutes, they've established such a deep and strong connection between this father and son, and they've barely did anything, right?
Oh, I
Like
know.
no
Yeah.
conversation was had, anything like that, or I love you, son, or anything like that. No, it just two dudes hanging out, like, and they did so
Totally.
good. Yeah.
Totally. The actors had good chemistry together and the writing and the story of course too.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Oliver Reed once again, like, and the child actor too. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
He was great too. And can I just say, like, kind of going to acting because, like, I think some of the performances, all the performances are really great. So with him in particular, he's my favorite one of the bunch, just because, like, the emotion that he experiences, the scenes where he's like drenched in sweat, you know, because of the smiling guy, you know, or whatever. And then, like, I think that like the heartbreaking one is when he is hurt, you know, at the end and the pool thing happens and he's like trying so hard to lift himself out of that chair and all he can do is manage to get to the ground and like his face, you know, like the terror in his eyes that he can't and he's still just crawling. Like what is he even going to do if he gets to the pool, you know?
Yeah.
That right there was like, oh,
Yeah.
like perfect.
Yeah. My heart is in my throat every single time I watch that scene. And it's like I know what's gonna happen, but just like the determination on Oliver Reed's face to just get to his son and protect him in any way he can, like even if it means him dying, like that's such a incredible moment and such strong acting abilities there. Like I totally believe that this is his kid. Like it's it's incredible.
Again, just like the heartbreak and terror in his eyes as he's crawling towards that
Yeah.
pool is incredible. Like, and his death, let's just say it's not a super gory movie, but his death is really, really cool.
And also huge shout out to this movie because they kill the kid.
Yes, we love when they kill the kid.
It's so shocking because it rarely happens. So I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was just like, the kid's gonna survive. Like he'll be fine. He'll end up being an orphan, but he'll be fine. No,
No.
there are no survivors in this movie. Oh,
And he gets like, and again, he gets that like, he gets like such a big like helping of trauma like before he dies because of what happens with his dad. I mean, he's literally like has his dad's blood on his shirt, as he like exits the car or whatever and goes and gets, he dies. But like, wow, the trauma of his dad just like falling down in the car and like his blood like splattering on him, like
For sure,
he
yeah.
doesn't go gently.
Yeah, and like this whole time the son is like, because Ben tries to run away with, his son almost immediately and repeats this like one or two times. And each time the son's like, no, we can't leave mom. What about mom? And it's like, we can't have the conversation of your mom's crazy. Like,
Yeah, I know.
she's possessed by something. Like, yeah, it's like, again, the 70s, they weren't so good about talking about feelings.
No,
Like,
not so much.
we could have talked about this and resolved it, but also like the son doesn't see that the mom is, you haven't seen her in like a week. You don't think that's weird?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Especially after Aunt Elizabeth passes and her behavior is just so erratic and completely atypical of her. She's
Yeah.
not, she's acting like nothing even happened. And Ben even calls her out on that. It's like, their son was so close with Aunt Elizabeth. Like, I don't understand why he's still clinging to his mom. Like, maybe it just, he is 12, but like, I don't think most 12-year-olds would do that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Elizabeth too. Like, can we just say how great? Like, first of all, I gotta say,
Betty
like,
Davis.
I
Betty
know Betty
Davis.
Davis. What more do you need to know? Like, and it's cool because we're first kind of introduced to her, and she's like fun. She's got like a fun kind of personality, and then man, she goes through the ringer in this house too. Like the thing that really like it breaks my heart so much when like Ben or David, is that the name of the boy?
David.
Davy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Davy.
Um,
Hmm.
Davy. So when the gas leak it happens in his room, and when Aunt Elizabeth has a conversation with Marion afterwards, and she's saying, "Yeah, I was in there, but I swear I didn't like move the gas. I didn't shut the windows. I would remember." And there's
Yeah.
this moment where like Marion doesn't believe her because she's like, "You were in the room, like okay, like." Come on, like you could have killed him basically. I don't think she doesn't say that out loud, but she's
She
saying it.
implies it. Yeah. She was like, you're getting older. You don't remember. And there's this moment where Betty Davis is just like, I remember what I do and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, it's so heartbreaking because like her voice cracks and her eyes are like tearing up. And I'm like, oh my God, like,
Yeah, I'm
stop
like,
yelling at Betty.
I know. It's like I'm like especially like sensitive to, like that aspect is like aging, right?
Yeah.
People experiencing dementia or Alzheimer's or you just start to lose your memory like that. So that moment of her just saying, I haven't lost my marbles or whatever, like, I remember I didn't, it just breaks my heart where I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
girl."
It's such an, I think that one is probably the most impactful death for me because she's the first one to go, for one, and also the family just completely lets her down, right?
Ugh,
Like they completely let her down. And I think it's all the more heartbreaking because, Ben and Davy are so close with her. Like
I
from the
know.
get-go, you can see it. And Davy is just, he's a kid. So it's like, okay, we can forgive that. You know,
Yeah.
he's off doing whatever. But Ben is like the one person that should defend her and protect her. And he's not there. He's so worried about Marion and like why she's not having sex with him. And he completely is oblivious. And he's just like, oh, she's just old. And it's like, she's telling you that something's going on and you weren't there. Like, un- until the end when he's trying to call the doctor and it's too late. So,
Yeah, and I have to say, like, oh my God, the moment where, like, so Ben's in the room with her, he thinks the doctor is maybe pulling up, right? And then, you see it in his eyes where it's like, oh God, it's the smiling guy, it's the smiling guy. And he's like listening, and you hear like the person coming up, and that like he's like up against the wall, like terrified, or like kind of goes to the ground. And then the moment where him and Aunt Elizabeth are right next to each other, like, and you're waiting for the smiling guy to come in, and like she looks horrified too, you know, because it's like
Yeah.
death
Yeah.
is befalling her, you know, and just
Yeah.
them together experiencing that moment. But yeah, again, there's like he's not doing anything to help her per se. He's like
Yeah.
paralyzed in the fear of
Yeah.
like
His
looming
own
death.
trauma is preventing him from acting.
Yes. But
Yeah.
it's like a heart-wrenching moment and a really well-acted moment. And I
Mhm.
feel like that moment in particular, all the moments with the smiling guy had really good
Oh,
tension.
yeah. That scene in particular feels like a true nightmare because, like, in a lot of your nightmares, at least for me, like, you're kind of just paralyzed. Like, you can move, but it's very slow, and like you can't really do a whole lot when you're being pursued in a dream. And
Mm-hmm.
like his fear is so overpowering that like he's just stuck there, and you can just see the fear on his face. You know, Anne Elizabeth's face, she's just scared to death, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And uh like it's gut wrenching. Absolutely gut wrenching.
Yeah, just this the fact that it's like this shared moment of like terror too, like it's like both of them are in a situation where like it's inevitable what's going to happen, and there's nothing they can do except for wait for it in horror to happen. Like how
Yeah.
scary just being stuck there with the only person that you would think could probably help you, and he's just as paralyzed as you are. Like,
Yeah.
whew,
Yeah. True fear. Um
oof.
so let's talk about the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got the moment where Ben tries to get away with Davy, right?
Mhm.
And they end up like, okay, we got to go get Marion. She's got to come. We got to get her out of the house. And Davy's like, please don't go back in the house, you know? And yeah, because he's like, if you go in, you're not coming out again. Like,
Mhm.
so he goes up there, and you have this tension just building because this whole time you don't know what's in the room. And if this is your first time watching it, you don't know if Mrs. Allardyce is actually there or if it's just like a entity or what is going on. And you really
Yeah.
don't know by the end of this either.
You
But
don't.
yeah, it's very open. But apparently the book is more open. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Um, so he goes into the room, and for the first time, like the bedroom, or no, she's still in the sitting room, right? Or is
I
it
think so.
bedroom?
Yeah. She's
Yeah,
in the sitting room.
she's in the
Mhm.
sitting room, and her back is to Ben's character. So he goes in, and it's just the chair, and he knows that somebody's sitting in the chair, and he's like, Mrs. Allardyce, have you seen my wife? And things like that. And the camera just slowly turns, and then all of a sudden, it's like this zoom in thing where you get the
Mhm.
big reveal that Marion is now Mrs. Allardyce.
Yeah.
And what a look. Incredible makeup.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so cool cuz she's like an old lady version of herself kind of. It's eerie, like very cool.
And
And
she's
then
pissed.
I know, and then you just see Ben like fly out the window.
Yeah, it's really funny. He just flies. And then,
like like
but then the house
phew.
gets a chimney, so a new chimney, and that's all that matters,
Yeah,
right? That's,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that's how Davy dies. The old chimney falls on him.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun. I do
Oh, very
have
fun.
an interesting fact about that finale scene.
Okay.
We almost had some very bad luck on set.
Oh my.
So, yeah, while shooting the film's finale, where Ben flies out of the attic window and falls, the film's stuntman had a near disastrous accident. He projected himself too far out from the window, and the crew waiting below only had seconds to move the safety padding for his landing. And not only that, but the stuntman almost missed the padding, landing a mere foot or so from the end of it.
Oh my gosh. This
Yeah.
house.
I know, right? That's the only thing I could find in terms of like any misfortunes that happened on set. So thankfully everybody was
Wow.
safe, everybody was okay, other than like emotional damage, like they were fine.
And you know what? Since he was okay, it's okay for me to say this, but doesn't that just add another fun layer to this movie?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
He lived, guys, so it's okay. We
it's
can we
fine.
can we can
Unlike
laugh
the
at that movie
characters,
now.
it's fine.
Yes.
How do you feel about that ending? Did you like the ending? Was there something you wished was different?
No, I mean, I liked the ending, and I will say, like, going back just a tiny bit, like, I think that Marion's kind of transformation to that point is kind of interesting too, because there's not like some big moment where she's like possessed, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a slowly like moving to this. Like pretty much like once she gets into the house and this like she starts housing it up, like she
Yeah,
is like a different person. She is like gone, and yeah. So I do like how it all kind of like slowly got her to that point. I like that the dad and the son died.
yeah,
And then it's cool because we get I feel like just enough explanation with the voiceover from the brother and sister at the end. You see that the house is like totally got a glow up, it's got flowers all around it. They take the picture, and you hear them talking about just how like gorgeous it is, like it is every summer, I think they say.
yeah,
So I did think that that was a really fun way to end it.
yeah. And I have a theory about this, but I want to hear your take too.
Okay.
So we get the impression that the Allardyces live at the house, not in the summertime. So why
Right.
do you think that they're okay when the families during the summertime are not?
Hmm. Good point. I mean, again, the mechanics of how this house works are very like unclarified. So it's like because obviously they have traumas, that this house could feed on too. Everybody
Yes,
does.
for
And they've
sure.
been around for a long time. So the probability of these two having trauma is probably even higher than a normal person's probability because they've been around for a while.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a good question. It's almost like does the house, I mean, is it the house's connection to them? Like does the house kind of rely on them for providing like the new energy and suffering that it needs to have its glow up? I guess that would be my kind of guess is like the house kind of needs them,
yeah. Okay.
you know?
That makes sense. Yeah, I could see that. I think that that's a really good theory. My theory is similar. Like, I still think that that's a very important key to this because we don't really know the full mechanics of this. So I think that that is important that there must be like a stable family outside of the summertime um, to bring in these new people. But what I think is the real. Oh, am I good?
Yeah,
Okay, my
I hear
headphone
you.
like disconnected. I think my biggest thing that I always like, this is just me, but I think that they have a very specific time frame for summer, right? July
Mm-hmm.
1st through Labor Day. I think that it's based off the seasons. So
Oh, sure.
summertime is that, the blooming and life is in full swing, but then fall comes and winter comes, and that's the time of things dying off, things decaying. And
Yeah.
then during the spring, you've got to find something to, you know, for the house to feed off some energy, right? So that's my
Love
theory. I'm
that.
curious to know like if there's a particular number of people that it needs, or like if it's just the trauma, and like the more severe the trauma the less it needs. Like I think that would be really interesting to
Yeah.
know.
Oh my
So
God. I love the seasons thing. I think you're totally right there. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I was wondering that too. I'm like, how many does it need? And yeah, I guess if like, I mean, if you brought like one person and it's like, okay, this person is going to be plenty for the summer. They got problems. I'm good. Or you're like, you're going to have to bring in some more people that are a little bit
right,
more messed up.
yeah. Well, it's very interesting that the people are handpicked by the Allardyces because Mrs. Allardyce is very much like, for the right people, it's this price. And it's like, okay, like what, like they don't really ask a lot of questions other than like, who's going to be staying here? These are the time frames. Are you good with that? And it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, are they just really good at reading people? Like I would, like you said, like I'd want the prequel about this family. I think it would be really interesting.
Oh, it'd be so interesting. Because I think, like, well, at least with our family we follow in this one, I think that Marion is probably the person that really sells it to them that they're the right family. Because I think they even ask, are you going to love this house like we love it, kind of thing? And it's Marion's eyes. Like, I think they have a moment with her eyes where she's like, yes, we will, and they're like, oh, she's got some darkness in her. Like, I think this is the right
For sure.
family.
That's a good point. And also, like, when Ben is kind of like, let us think it over. That's a big ask for us to watch over one of your, elderly relatives for the whole summer and the house. Like, let us think about it. They're not worried at all after they see
No.
the look in her eyes. They're just like, take as long as you need. Like,
Yeah, they're like,
they
you'll
know.
be back.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is
We'll be
great.
expecting you, in July here.
Yeah,
So
we'll see you in July. Yeah. All right. I have a couple more fun facts.
okay.
Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about before we moved on?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much everything. I will just say one other thing I just thought was cool, really quick, is there was a lot of like mirrors in this movie too, and I think in storytelling, a lot of times like mirrors can reflect like identity loss. So I will say that like they kind of felt like a portal that the house uses to whisper like your worst fears or deepest inner kind of like thoughts. That's how the mirrors in this movie felt to me.
I love that so much. Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I think mirrors are a very powerful symbolic means of storytelling for sure, especially the portal aspect. Like even a common superstition I hear among people when I talk to them about like things that they fear or things that they don't do is they don't have a mirror in the bedroom. And that's a very
Interesting.
old superstition about mirrors being portals or, people traveling through mirrors. So it's very interesting that you bring that up. So
Yeah, I definitely noticed that they came up like a fair amount of times where I'm
quite a
like,
few times.
okay,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
definitely something here.
Oh yeah. And also, the broken mirror at the beginning symbolizing bad luck. Like, yeah, definitely
The
something
broken
there.
glasses in the pool that he
Oh
like
yeah.
picks up before he like goes all bonkers on his son.
I'm convinced that those glasses were what triggered whatever it was, because he's
Same.
staring at them for a
Okay.
while and it takes a while to drag him away from it. And then he puts them on and he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
wear
does.
glasses. Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's
interesting.
like it's like yeah, it's almost like, Marianne gives into the house like pretty easily, right? And so maybe that's like, yeah, maybe that's him like giving into the house a little bit too right there, like putting on the
Yeah.
glasses, even though he clearly doesn't wear glasses. And the
Yeah.
house is like, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Put on these rose-colored glasses so you think that this house is perfect,
Yes.
please. All right. So let's do a couple more fun facts.
Yeah.
So director Dan Curtis, both of these are about Dan. He actually has a cameo in the film.
Oh.
So the photograph collection Mrs. Allardyce has, right? He is in
Hmm.
one of those pictures.
Ah, that is so fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really cool.
What a
So,
what a fun way to like do a cameo.
right? Very subtle. And if you don't know what he looks like, then you wouldn't know.
You won't know.
Yeah. I also found this interesting. Apparently, in the commentary for the film, director Dan Curtis says that he read the novel Burnt Offerings years before he got the offer to direct the film, right?
Okay.
And he said that he absolutely hated the ending in the book. and at the time thought to himself that he would pity anyone who would attempt to make this book into a movie. So years later, the offer to direct the movie version of the novel came to him, and the first thing he did before he did anything else was write the ending he liked, and that ending is the one that is now in the movie.
Wow, how fun. Like that came full circle for him.
Right? Like he
Yeah.
fixed it basically. So I plan on reading the book after this recording, and I'll have to report back to everybody, including the
I would
listeners,
have to read it
about,
too, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out from the library or something. But it is apparently the same name as the movie, but I'm really curious how different it is, if it's like a completely different family or what the deal is. But I'm hoping we get more details on the mechanics of everything. So we'll see.
That's what I was gonna say. I do hope you get at least a little bit more insight into like how things work or where it originated from.
Yeah, I hope so too. But I'll let you know if I end up reading it before you.
Yeah, I want to read it too.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time either way, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jamie, let's get into rating this movie.
Yeah. You want to go first or should I go first?
Let's have you go first.
Okay. So I love this movie. Anybody who knows me knows that I love 70s as an era for horror and just an era in general. I think that the cast in this is like wow, like powerhouse cast. Even the young actor, which I don't know his name, but I thought he did great too.
Yeah.
Even like the small characters are really cool.
Yeah.
And it's a fairly small cast too. It's a tight cast, which I think is awesome. I like movies like that. I'm a big
Hmm.
fan of spooky houses. I like atmosphere and creeping kind of dread and stuff. And I think that this movie does all of that really well. It's very unique. Again, like I said, you don't usually have like haunted house, even though again I don't really consider it a haunted house as much as an entity in itself, but you don't
Yeah.
really have a lot of haunted house stories that are like this. Just the whole like the house regenerating and like taking from this family. I Yeah, I just think it's really brilliant and interesting. All that being said, this is like a solid 8 for me. So it's pretty high up there. It's not my like favorite 70s horror, but it is so good. I feel like if you like these type of movies, if you like 70s, if you like atmosphere, if you like the haunted house kind of movies, you should definitely check this one out if you haven't. If nothing more to see like the beautiful cinematography and the great performances, but there's so much to like.
Oh yeah, for sure. um I completely agree with you, Jamie. If you haven't seen this movie, you absolutely need to, especially if you like 70s horror, if you really like ensemble casts, because this is a really great cast. And oh my God, like true legends of film in this movie, right? Like Betty Davis alone, we could talk all day long about. Like she's an incredibly gifted actress. She was
Love
quite a
you.
volatile personality to work with. Um, but not as bad as Joan Crawford. But I'm sorry, I'm on Betty Davis's side always.
Right.
Yeah, but anyways, but
That could be
yeah.
a whole other episode, which would be a blast, just saying.
Well,
But
we've talked Joan Crawford, we've talked some
yes.
Betty. Eventually we'll do the movie they did together. But
Yes.
yeah, I really want to, but that's for another time, and that's when we'll really get into the feud.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, that's a true horror story right there. Anyways, back to this reading this
We
movie.
digress.
We digress back. Okay. So I love the supernatural elements. I love haunted houses, even though it's not really a haunted house. But like Rose Red is one of my favorite Stephen King novel or movie adaptations ever. And of course I'm gonna like this. And it has so many memorable things about it. Great 70s fashion, really fun music. And it's just creepy and it holds up. No matter how many rewatches, there's something new you find every single time. And like it still deeply affects me every single time I watch the violent scenes between the family. Like it really gets to me. And I watch it at least twice a year minimum.
Aw.
So it's one of my all-time favorite comfort movies, Jamie, thanks to you. Um,
Oh, I'm so
yeah,
glad.
yeah. You understood the assignment when I said I wanted supernatural 70s haunted house. And
Woo.
I'm so thankful for that. Um, so thanks for always having solid horror movie recommendations, because this one is a 9.5 for me.
Woo! Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's such a great
Aw.
movie. So I'm finally relieved that we were able to cover it. I'm bummed Ethan wasn't here, but maybe it's for the best that it's a girls' night kind of vibe tonight.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like this episode has been in like it's been inside of you, like ready to be released,
For
ready
3
to
years.
open, yeah, ready to open the doors of that house right open, you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
we got to do that tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many little details about this film. The, cinematography, the costumes, the house. We didn't even get to talk about all the fashions. I
I
know
know,
you.
and it was
Yeah.
good. I
She
held
has so
back.
many robes. Yes.
Oh, and the shawl, like she had a fabulous shawl at one point where it's like, oof.
The summer dresses. Oh my God. We need to
I
bring
know.
70s dresses back, because like ultimate beach like wear, right?
Oh yeah.
And she's so sexy. So
Oh my
sexy.
gosh. Yeah, she's a babe. Like I think like Karen Black has like such a cool look. Like she has kind of a different look, but she's a
Yeah.
babe.
She very much like gave me Sophia Loren vibes. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like very classic, very elegant, but so sexy. So sexy.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
if you guys have only seen Karen Black as Mama Firefly, you need to educate yourselves and fix that, because she's
Yeah.
so fine.
Oh yeah, she's a
Yeah.
babe. So
Yeah.
you're
She definitely
welcome.
was. Yeah. R.I.P.
I know.
You know what's crazy? I think everybody in this cast has passed.
Oh wow. I mean, it may is
70s, but
yeah, I'm like,
still,
is the son maybe alive? Again, I don't remember
maybe.
I don't know the name of him or anything, but he might be the only one. Oh, interesting. He stepped away from the public eye for a time to pursue other interests, including composing music for films and working in marketing.
I love that for him.
More recently, he has appeared at horror conventions and working as a real estate agent in California. So, if you're in the market for a big, beautiful house, there's kind of an expert.
Yeah, no kidding. Request Lee Montgomery to be your realtor,
Yes.
California peeps.
He'll warn you about the chimney situations, and yeah, he's got you.
All right. So, if you ever take a summer vacation and you end up in a house that seems too good to be true, just remember, don't have sex.
Don't do drugs and don't drown and watch out for chimneys and be careful in the attic. Don't get too caught up in all of that stuff and like totally don't die.
Yeah, please don't die. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.